This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the various controller classes has been given by the Visual Force, like the standard controller, custom controller, and extension controller. So these are the three types of controller classes are available in Salesforce as part of Visual Force program. We have discussed about each and every controller type and when should we go for the standard, when should we go for custom, when should we go for extension. All these things we have discussed. Now today we'll see how to place the fields inside your user interface. As of now, we have prepared a page. We have placed the page blocks. We have prepared the various sections in each and every page block. Now we'll see how to place the fields inside this sections. How to place the fields inside the section. Now we'll see practically in this case. How can we place these fields? Now let me show you practically. Whenever if you want to place the fields, we have to use a tag called as input field tag. Input field tag is used to place a field on the Visual Force page. Like whenever if you want to create some records, we have to supply the values for those fields. There might be some mandatory fields are available inside that object. At least we have to supply the value for those fields. So in this case, in order to place the fields on your user interface, on your Visual Force page, we are using the help of this input field tag. So what this input field tag will do, input field tag is used to place a field of the object onto your user interface. Like for example, in the previous session, we have discussed about how to place the field, how to place the sections inside your Visual Force page. So in the previous session, we have discussed how to place the page blocks and the page block sections and the button controls we have discussed. Now, not only placing these page blocks and the page block sections, I want to place the fields also. Inside my account object, we have so many fields are available, like as a name field and the parent account field, account site field, type field, industry, account number, and then PAN number, rating field, phone, fax. So many fields are available. So whatever the fields are available inside my object, all these fields I want to place on my user interface. So how can we place these fields on the user interface? So that we are using a tag called as input field tag. As of now, we have the sections. We are ready with the sections, but we haven't placed any field inside this section. Now, to place the fields inside this section, we are using the help of a tag called as input field tag. So what this input field tag will do, input field tag is used to represent a field on your Visual Force page. Then how can we place this name field? How can we place this type field, industry field, rating field, phone, fax, everything? So just we have to give the field name. We have to pass the field name to this tag. Whenever we are going to be representing a field on this user interface, for this input field tag, we have to supply the field name. That means which field you want to display on the user interface. We have to give that field name. Then how can we give that field name? What are the various properties are available as part of this input field tag? Now let's see practically in this case. Okay. This tag is used to represent the object fields onto the user interface. This tag is used to represent the object fields onto the user interface. So now we need to supply the field name to the tag. We need to supply the field name to the tag. Then how can we supply over here? We'll see practically now and what are the various properties are available. Let me explain the properties. The first property is ID property. As you know that ID property is used to give the reference name which is used to identify the control on the user interface. In order to identify this control on the user interface, we are using this reference name. And the second one, value property. So in this value property only, we have to specify the name of the field, which field you want to represent on your user interface. We have to specify the field name. At that time, we have to specify your class name dot the field name. Class name means what? Standard class name. Your standard object, standard class name dot field name. Which object field you want to represent? You have to specify the respective object's class name and then specify the field name. Suppose if you want to show the account record name field, just you can specify account dot name, account dot rating, account dot industry. Like that, we can specify the class name dot field name. Third one, rendered property. This rendered property is used to indicate whether this control to be get visible on the user interface or not. In order to indicate whether this control to be visible on the user interface or not, we are using a property called as rendered property. Next. So whenever if you want to make this a field as mandatory, at that time we have to use a property called as required property. The required property is used to indicate whether this field is a mandatory field or optional. If you want to make a field mandatory through the Visual Force programming, here inside this input field tag, we have a property called as required property. We have to specify the value true to make that field as a mandatory field. These are the 4 properties are available as part of your input field tag. Now, in this case, okay, in this case, whenever if you are going to be using this input field tag to represent the fields on the user interface, whatever the field name that you have binded, now based on that field properties, it is providing the respective visual appearance. Depends upon the field properties, it is going to be preparing the visual appearance. Now that means what? Whenever I'm going to be representing the field, for example, whenever I'm using this tag, Apex input field, I'm indicating the value. Here we can specify that field. Which field you want to represent? I want to represent the account object name field. Whenever we are going to placing this object name dot field name, in this case, that means what? This is the input field tag, which is going to preparing a field based on that name field. This is the name field that we have. For this name field, whatever the properties are available, whatever the data type is available, based on the data type, respective visual appearance will be getting provided over here. Now it is providing one text box. Why it is providing the text box? Because the name field is a text type. For this name field, what is the label is available? It is having the label called as account name. Okay, account name. So now it is going to placing that label and then along with the text box. Suppose if this field is a mandatory field, it is going to be adding the red color bar symbol also. It will add the red color bar symbol also along with this field. That means what? Based on the field name, it will go to the respective field properties. Based on the field properties, based on the field data type, it is going to be representing the respective visual appearance on your user interface. Suppose, for example, assume that I'm going to represent this Apex input field value equals to account dot rate. I'm indicating account dot rate. So rating is of type what? Pick list. So it is going to be preparing a pick list control over. It will prepare the pick list control automatically. We no need to indicate that. It will, whenever you are binding this field name, based on that field name, it will go to the respective field properties. Based on the field properties, it is going to be preparing the respective visual appearance. It will verify for this field what is the data type. Is it a normal text field? Is it a phone field? Or is it a pick list field? Is it a pick list multi-select or what? It is going to be preparing that information. It is going to be preparing the respective visual appearance of it. Rating. Okay, rating. So in this case, this is of type what? Pick list. But this rating pick list is having some values. It is having some values over here. These values are also will be automatically populating over. In this case, it will be automatically populating these values also. Like it is adding the value none, along with that it is adding the value hot and the warm and the cold. These are the values will be getting added automatically by default. That means what? Whenever you are binding a field to this particular control tag, then based on that field name, it will go to the respective field, it will verify the field properties, it will verify the field data type. Based on the data type, based on the properties, it is preparing the visual appearance. If the field data type is a pick list, it is providing the pick list control. If the field is an email type, it is providing the text box over here. If the field is a checkbox, it is providing the checkbox. If the field is like as your multi-site pick list, it is providing the multi-site pick list, like that. Depends upon the field data type, depends upon the field properties, it is representing the respective visual appearance on your user interface. So whenever you are binding a field name to this kind of tag, this tag will go to the respective field inside this object. It will verify the field properties. Based on the properties, it is providing the respective visual appearance. This is the internal concept of input field tag. Now, let me give over. While binding a field name to the tag, it will verify the field data type and properties. Based on the field properties, it will provide the respective visual appearance. Visual appearance of the user interface. Okay. So that whenever we are binding a field to this particular tag, it will be collecting the field properties, it is collecting the field data type. Based on that field data type, it is going to providing the visual appearance of this. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. How can we implement? Now let me show you practically. So let me take a small use case how to design this page. Now, for example, I want to design the user interface like this, exactly like this. This is the, to create that new account record, these are the sections are available, these are the fields are available. I want to prepare this user interface. Then how can we prepare this user interface? Now we'll see. Then how can we prepare this visual appearance? Now let's see practically. Let me take the use case. Now, design a Visualforce page to create new account records inside the object. Design a Visualforce page to create a new account record inside that account object. So now in this case, what happened? We are going to binding this controls. Okay, we are binding this controls. Whenever you are going to be binding this particular field to this control tag, then this field is available where inside my object. What is that object name? Account. That account will be having that class. What is that class name? Account. So this class name we have to add inside your page tag. This class is what? Standard class. So we have to add that controller over there. this standard controller account. Whenever we are binding a field to this input field tag, whatever the respective controller class is available, that controller class name we have to add inside that page tag over here. Okay, now let me give the node point also. Upon representing the field tags on the Visualforce page, we have to add the corresponding controller class inside the page tag by using standard controller property. Standard controller. Like for example, I want to indicate Apex page. Standard controller equals to and then by page. Here's the page tag. In this particular account object, in this account class, we have so many variables like as name variable, ID variable, every because each and every field will be representing in the form of a variable. So I would like to place that. For that one, I'm using input field. Input field value equals to, we can specify the field name. That means account dot name. Input field value equals to, we can specify the account dot rating, so that here we can able to represent this rating field also on your user interface. Suppose if you want to represent your custom field also, custom field inside this account, value equals to, we can specify account dot PAN number underscore. It may be any field. It may be standard field or custom field also. We can able to make it represented on this Visualforce page. We can represent this field on your Visualforce page with the help of this input field tag. So whenever we are using the class, okay, whenever we are using the class inside this input field tag, the respective class name we have to add inside your page tag by using standard controller attribute. By using this standard controller property, we are going to be adding this class name inside our page tag. Yeah. So now let's see how can we do this one. How can we design this a new account record page? So I want to create some new account records inside my object. So then how can we design this user interface? We'll see practically in this case. Now, let me show you practically. So let me design the page from the beginning over here. Apex, I'm indicating create new account page. Create new account page. I'm going to be creating a page with the name create new account page. So with this name, there is no page has been designed. So it is indicating that message page create new account page does not exist. This page is not a design. So I want to create the new page with this name. So click on that link. It is going to be preparing the page. So now my Visualforce page has been designed. Now I would like to design the actual user interface with the required controls inside this. I want to design the user interface like this. I want to place this account object fields inside my user interface. Then what we can do now? Let's see. I'm removing this default code which has been given by Salesforce. Now I would like to place the default properties like setup equals to false, sidebar equals to false, show header equals to true, and the tab style equals to customer object tab style I want to assign. Because this account object tab style is not looking like good for me, I want to apply the customer object tab style. So that just assign that customer object tab style over here. Now next one, I want to specify that information. So what is that? I want to place this section header. I want to display like as account edit new account. This is the title part and this is the subtitle part. How can we specify the title and the subtitle? Now let's see. I'm indicating this section header. Title equals to account edit. Subtitle equals to new account. Title equals to account edit. Subtitle equals to new account. That means I'm going to be representing this account record page layout in the editable format, okay, because I would like to create a new account record inside my object. Next, I'm using the font. Okay, I'm using this font. So I'm placing this, the section header, the title part, and then subtitle part. Now I would like to place the fields, nothing but I would like to specify the page block. This is the page block that I want to place a page block. So that I'm indicating Apex page block. Apex page block. For this page block, I'm giving the title. For this page block, I'm giving the title, then now account edit. This is the account record editable format. So it is indicating that account edit. Now, inside this, I would like to place the button controls. Okay, I would like to place save button, cancel button. Two buttons I would like to place. So to place the button controls, we are using the page block buttons section. Page block buttons section. Here I'm indicating the location. Location equals to both. I want to display this buttons at both the places. So I'm preparing the page block buttons section. Inside this page block buttons section, we can place our button controls. What button controls? I'm indicating command button value equals to save. Apex command button value equals to cancel. I'm placing this command button value equals to cancel. These are the two button controls which I'm placing on my user interface. I have placed that save button and the cancel button. And I would like to place the save and new also. One more button. Apex command button value equals to save and new. So these are the three button controls which I have placed on my user interface. And then, so now I have placed the page block. Inside the page block, I have placed the button controls. Now I would like to place the page block sections, like account information section, address information section, additional information section, description information section. Like that, we are having some multiple sections are available. Let me place these sections. Here I'm placing the page block sections. Apex page block section. I'm indicating the page block section with the title, account information section, and the number of columns equals to 2. You know that each and every tag in their properties. I want to arrange the fields in 2 columns inside this particular section, and then I would like to indicate the collapsible option also. Collapsible equals to true. I want to provide the collapsible option. So I have placed one section inside my page block, account information section. Like the similar way, I want to place few more sections. Page block section. I'm indicating the title, address information section, and the number of columns equals to 2, and the collapsible equals to, I want to display the collapsible option also. I'm placing the second section. Next, I'm indicating this. Apex page block section. I'm adding another section. Title equals to additional information section, and the number of columns equals to 2, and the collapsible equals to, I would like to represent the collapsible option also. I'm indicating one more section over. I'm indicating another section. Apex, page block section, contact details. Title equals to contact details section. The number of columns to be get arrange the fields in this section as 2. And then I want the collapsible option equals to, I want to represent the collapsible option also. So that here I'm placing these 4 sections. When you go to my page block, I'm having the 4 sections are available. Up to this part, you know how to design this user interface, you know already. We have placed the page block. Inside the page block, I have added 4 sections: account information section, contact details section, address information section, and the additional information section. These are the 4 sections which I have placed inside my page block. Now, in each and every section, I want to place the fields. How can we place the fields? In order to place the fields inside this page block section, we are using a tag called as input field tag. Okay, we have discussed that just now. Input field tag is used to represent the fields of the object in your Visual First page. In order to represent the fields on the Visual First page, we are using input field tag. So we can able to place a field on that user interface where we can use that field to give some input values to your application. So which field you want to display, we have to specify that field name. Okay, field name along with that respective class name. So this is the class, okay, which will be having that variable, and this is the variable name. So I'm indicating this variable name because each and every object will be represented in the form of a class, and each and every field, nothing but column, will be represented in the form of a variable. So we have to specify the class name and the variable name over here. Whenever you are using this class variables inside this Visual First page, we have to add this class name inside your page tag as a controller. Now, so what is that class here? In this case, account. Account class has been given by home Salesforce. So is it a standard or custom? Standard. So we have to add that standard class inside the Visual First page by using standard controller. Yesterday we have discussed whenever you are utilizing that standard functionalities inside the Visual First page, we have to add that standard class name inside the page by using standard controller property. So I want to represent this account object fields. So specify that account class name inside this page tag by using standard controller equals to account. Okay, standard controller account. And then once you specify that the class name, then we can start preparing the fields. In the account information section, I want to place the fields. What fields you want to represent, we can specify. What fields you want to represent, you can specify each and every field. I'm placing that Apex input field. Input field value equals to specify the field name. How we can specify the account dot name field. I want to represent that account name field inside my user interface. Now let's save it. Whenever I'm placing that, where I'm placing this one, I want to place inside this account information section. So inside this account information section, a text box has been placed. Now tell me, have I given any information to the Visual First page? Boss, please provide one text box, and for this text box, make it as a mandatory and specify this label over here. No, we haven't given any information, just have given that field name. Whenever I'm giving the field name, it will go to the respective field, it will go to the respective field properties. It will go to the field properties over here. Name field. It will verify what type of name field is available. Now it will be of text data type. So that here it is going to preparing the text box on your user interface. Along with that, whatever the label is available, field label is available, this field label will be getting representing for your text box as a label also. And then this name is a mandatory field always, so that it is indicating required option also by default. That's what I have given this note point. Whenever I'm going to binding, so while binding a field name to the tag, it will verify the field data type and the properties. Based on that field properties, it will provide the respective visual appearance. Okay, if the field is a mandatory one, it will be adding that mandatory required checkbox. Required option will be getting added. If the field is after pick list, it is preparing a pick list control. Okay. Now, so now let me add the remaining fields one by one.
Excuse me, Feroz.
Yes.
Is it possible to change the level of this field, like from account name to customer name?
If you want to change that name, then we have to change inside the field property itself. You have to go to that account object field. You can change the property name itself. Here itself, you can able to change.
Means we
If you
can't do
want,
it with
no,
the
we
Visual
can't do it.
Force?
No, we can't do it over there. If you're preparing your own controls, we can move it, specify that. But for the standard fields, we can't change it. If you want to change for that field label instead of account name, if you want to show like as customer name, then at that time we have to hard code that value, or else we have to use that the renaming the tab names at the field names. Okay.
And one more query, like I want to change the font of the input text. Is it possible, or it will take?
Yeah, at that time we can change the font also. At that time we have to go with our own custom style sheets. We have to go with the CSS. Through that CSS, we can able to apply our own custom styles also. Font name, font color, font size, everything we can change with the help of CSS.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
For one question, uh, if in object account name is required, and here if we give input field name as required equal to false, will it take, sir?
No, because in the object level that is a mandatory, right? So compulsorily we can specify. In the object level, if it is optional, then from Visual Force you can make it mandatory.
Okay.
The second, I would like to add.
Feroz, one doubt. Suppose we have to make an
Okay,
additional field from Visual Force.
No, that is not possible. Whatever the fields are there in the object, only those fields you can represent over here.
Okay, means we are using standard, that's why it is there, or any controller we will use, we cannot make additional fields.
If you want a custom controller, then we can prepare your own fields also, your own text boxes, everything we can place, no problem. Text boxes, pick lists, everything we can prepare by our own. That facility is there. We'll see each and every concept one by one. Okay. So now here in this case, I'm going to be indicating the account name field, and then I would like to specify the account rating field. I'm indicating input field value equals to account dot rating. Whenever I'm adding this account rating field, it is indicating that. Rating field is of type what? Pick list. It is going to be preparing a pick list control. In this pick list, what values are available? 3 options are available over here. These 3 options also will be getting populating over here. We no need to add these options manually. These options will be getting adding automatically by Salesforce, so that whenever you are binding a field name to this tag, this tag will go to the respective field. It will go to the respective properties. It will collect the properties. It will collect the data type based on that respective the visual appearance will be getting prepared. If the field is of a pick list, whatever the options that were given while creating the field, those options will be getting populating automatically by default. Suppose if you want to make this rating as a mandatory field, then just you can specify required equals to 2. Automatically, this field will be marking with the red color bar symbol. So whenever you are creating a new record through this Visual Force page, rating is a mandatory field. Next, input field. Input field value equals to, I'm indicating account dot industry. I'm placing this input field value equals to account dot annual revenue. I'm adding these fields. Industry name field also I'm populating, and the annual revenue also. Next, I want to place account number and then account type. I'm indicating affects input field value equals to account dot type. Affects input field value equals to account dot ownership, Apex, input field, value equals to account dot site, Apex, input field, value equals to account dot website. I'm indicating these fields. I'm preparing these fields: account name field, rating field, industry, annual revenue, type field, ownership field, account site, and the website fields. Now, inside the contact details, I would like to place two more fields. Inside this contact details section, I want to place the fields. Input field, value equals to account dot phone. That means I want to place that phone field and then fax field. Apex, input field, value equals to account dot fax. The contact details information I'm placing inside this field. So the phone number and the fax. Phone field, I want to make it as mandatory, so that I'm using required equals to. I'm making this phone number as a mandatory. Next, address information. I want to add the address information section. I want to add this address information section. How can we add? Apex, input field, value equals to, we can specify the account dot billing stream. Account dot billing stream. So it is populating the billing stream field over here. Now, beside this here, what you want to place? I want to place shipping state, because here we are having shipping state. Now, I'm placing this field. So here I would like to place the shipping state. Shipping state. So we have placed the billing state field and the shipping state. Like the similar way, I want to place the remaining fields also. I want to place the billing city and then shipping city. And I want to place the billing state and the shipping state. I want to specify the billing postal code and the shipping postal code. I want to place the billing country and the shipping country. Now, I have placed this address information sections. Inside this address information section, we have placed this billing state, shipping state, billing city, shipping city, billing state, shipping state, billing postal code, shipping postal code, billing country, and the shipping country. These are the fields which I have placed inside this. Now I would like to place the additional information section. In this additional information section, I would like to place the fields. Input the field, value equals to, I would like to specify account dot customer priority. Customer priority is a custom field given by Salesforce. I'm placing this customer priority. And then I'm placing the active status field. Input field, value equals to account dot active underscore underscore. I want to represent that active status field. Active status. So we have specified that customer priority and the active status. So these fields has been getting arranged inside my user interface. We have customer priority field is available with all the options. Active status fields are also having with all the options. So in this case, what happened? Whenever we are going to be designing our own page, we can able to specify what fields you want to represent on your Visual Force page. We can able to specify that fields information also inside this. So in this case, what happened when you go to the standard page layout, this is the standard page layout that we have. Suppose you can raise a question, sir, I want to place this field and then this PAN number field also over here. I want to place these two fields also, PAN number field and then share record to user field also. How can we represent? Now let me specify. I'm placing those two fields also. Affects input field value equals to account dot PAN number. Affects input field value equals to account dot share a record to user. Share a record to user. So whenever I'm going to placing these fields, the respective visual appearance will be getting available. Now, so in this case, we have placed this fields also. PAN number field, I would like to make it as mandatory so that I'm indicating PAN number field should be required. Required equals to required equals to. So these are the various of fields we have populated. So depends upon the field name, the respective visual appearance will be getting visible to you on your user interface aligned with the respective field properties also. Whatever the properties are available for the field, like the field label will be getting visible over here. If the field is a mandatory field, then the red color bar symbol will be getting added. If the field is a pick list, it is preparing the pick list type. If the pick list is having some options, it is populating those options also inside. So all the options, all the properties will be getting automatically binded by this particular tag itself. But the additional advantage is when coming to this particular standard page layout, what are the sections are available, these sections are not having any expanded collapsible option. But here you will be able to see the expanded collapsible options also over here. Depends upon your requirement, we can able to prepare this. That means whenever I'm going to be defining this user interface through Visualforce, so now whatever the edit page is available in our standard page layouts doesn't provide any collapsible option in the edit page. So now collapsible option is available only for the detail page. But here when coming to the Visualforce programming, so in the edit page also we can able to represent the collapsible option over here. We can select that, we can expand that section, and we can able to see the respective fields available inside this. This is the way we are going to be designing. Okay, this is the way we are going to be designing the Visualforce page. Okay, by placing the respective object fields inside this. This is how we are using this input field tag. So input field tag is used to represent the object fields on your Visualforce page. So upon representing that fields, we have to bind that field name. Whenever you are binding the field name, it is going to be preparing the respective visual appearance on the page based on the field data type and based on the field properties. So that we can able to place that object fields on the user interface. Depends upon our application requirement.
Sir, it is showing customer tab is clicked like that.
Because here we have applied the customer object tab style, right? That's what it is going to selecting the respective object tab style.
I mean, we need to create separate tab for that one.
Yes, we can create a separate tab also. There we can able to bind it. That possibility is also available.
Without creating tab, can't we mention any style?
No, at that time here we can specify. If you want to display the account object tab style, then you can specify that tab style equals to account. So account object tab cell will be getting visible to you here. Here we can specify the account. Account object tab cell will be getting applicable. Then automatically account tab will be getting selected over. So depends upon your application requirement. Whatever the tab cell that you want, we can able to represent. Okay. Suppose, for example, if you don't want to display that tab over here, like as if you don't want to display this account, just you can hide this account tab over here, create your own Visualforce page tab, okay, with the names like as some account or customer, and then we can represent on your tab bar also. That facility is available. We'll see how to create our own Visualforce page tabs also. We'll see. Okay.
So there is a like a information to required field in the account page, and it on the top of the bar.
But that will not be visible over here because that is a standard page layout given by Salesforce. That's what here we are having this option, like as red color bar equals to required
Okay.
information. But that option we can't show over here. That will not be visible.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So without controller, can't we put input field in Visualforce page?
No. Input field we can't place without that controller. Here we have to specify. Upon you are going to binding a field name, we have to indicate where that field is available, where that variable is available, in which class that variable is available. So we have to give that class name. Without that class name, we can't use this. Suppose if I'm removing this particular property, let's see, it will give the error message. Unknown property account referencing create new account page. It will be raising that exception to you. Compilation error.
Okay. For formula fields and roll-up summary fields.
Sorry. This is a
For
edit page,
formula
right?
fields also we
One
can
more
use.
thing. Let me explain.
Okay.
So this is a formula fields and roll-up summary fields are what? These are the read-only fields. Those fields will not be visible in the read page. Those are visible only in the detail
Okay.
page only, not in the read page. Okay. So we no need to place those fields inside this.
Firoz, like we created this new account page, whether this new account page will replace the existing account page?
Yes, we can replace that. I will show you that next one. Okay. How can we replace that? I will show you.
Hi, Firoz. How about the columns? We can use only 2 or we can increase columns
You can use
also?
multiple. You can utilize multiple also. For example, I'm indicating 3.
Okay.
Okay, now we can able to place that fields in 3 columns over.
Okay, thank you.
That's what here. This is one of that option which has been given by Salesforce. That already told you upon customizing the page layout, we can arrange the fields only in 2 columns. But in Visualforce page, we can able to arrange the fields in 3 columns also, 4 columns also, 5 columns also, 10 columns also, depends upon your requirement. This is the section. In this page block section, we can specify in how many columns you want to arrange the fields. This is the option. Columns equals to 3. Automatically, fields will be getting arranged in 3 columns by default. If I'm placing like as 2, then it will arrange the fields in 2 columns only. Like that depends upon that requirement, we can indicate in how many columns you want to arrange these fields. Okay. Now, so this is how we are going to be designing the user interface. According to your requirement, we can design this user interface also.
Excuse
Now,
me,
in this
Feroz.
case, yes,
Now the page is ready to create the records,
yes,
or
right.
do we?
No, we need to do some more thing. Let me explain. As of now, we are done with the designing part over here. For example, I'm entering some data inside these text boxes. After entering some data in the text boxes, when I click on the save button, what needs to be done? I need to save the record or not? Yes. So then how can we save the record? To save the record, do we have any ready-made functionality? Yes. What is that? Save method. Where it is available in the account class. So that already account class we have added inside our controller here. In the standard controller already we have added that account class. So directly we can able to call that method. How can we call that method? Now let me explain. As soon as once you click on this save button, I want to invoke that action. What is that action? Specify that. Action equals to specify the method name. What is that method you would like to call? Save method. So there is a method called as save method which has been given by Salesforce. Yesterday we have discussed about that. So for each and every class, Salesforce is giving the 10 methods by default. Like Salesforce has given the save method, cancel method, delete method, quick save method, first method, next method, last method, has next, has the previous. These are the 10 methods have been given by Salesforce. But now what I'm doing, I'm saving the record. To save the record, do we have any method? Yes, save method is available. So the save method is having the internal business logic by default, which will be inserting the record inside that object. Here it will redirect the user to the detail page. So we no need to write the business logic. Simply we can use this ready-made methods also. I'm using this as save method. So upon click on this save button, please invoke that action. What is that action? Call this a method save method. Now, when I click on this save in new, I want to invoke that same save method over here. I'm using this save method. When I click on this cancel button, I would like to perform that cancel operation. So now action equals to I'm indicating cancel. That's it. Over. We no need to write the business logic. From now onwards, enter some data inside my text boxes, click on save, record will be saved automatically. Okay. Now, so now in this case, as of now, what we did, we have placed the fields on the user interface, and then we have added the business logic also inside this. So upon click on this save button, we are saving the record. Upon click on the cancel button, we are canceling this record. So that we have added the respective methods also inside this. So as part of this save button, I'm calling this a save method. As part of this cancel button, I'm calling this cancel method. So we have placed these functionalities.
Firoz, how we are differentiating between save and save new button then?
Now, that already told you that. Save button is going to be simply saving the record, and then it is going to be redirecting the user to the detail page. Suppose if it is a save and new, then it is saving the record. It will open the new form again over here to create one more record. Okay, like for example, let me show you. Now I'm indicating the.
So like in actually we have mentioned save only, right? So how it is taking that functionality save and new?
At that time we can implement. Okay, at that time if you want that save and new functionality, then we can implement that functionality by our own. Okay, but here I'm giving that the same save method again over here. Okay, for our confirmation. When moving forward here, I want to use this save and new. That means what? We need to save the record. We need to open that new form again. For that one, we have to write some additional coding. Okay, this method we have to prepare by using extensions. That means standard save, standard cancel I'm using. For the save and new, I want to use my own. So at that time, we have to go with that extension. So at that time, we can go with this. But here for the time being, I'm using this same save method here. When moving forward, we'll see how to use extension controller classes also. Okay. Now, so now from now onwards, whenever I'm after entering some data, once you click on the save button, the record will be saving inside my object. Let me test this functionality over here. How can we save the record? So now I'm going to be entering some data to create that record. So now here I'm creating a record with the name some Shivaram. Account the name is some Shivaram. Industry I'm indicating like some communications. Rating value some heart. Annual revenue some 35 lakhs. Type I'm indicating customer direct. Ownership some public. Account the site I'm indicating like as telecommunications. Website I'm indicating like as Tata Teleservices. That PAN number I'm indicating the PAN number. I'm giving some PAN number value inside this. Now I don't want to share the record to anybody else, so that here I'm not selecting this any value. And the phone number I'm giving some value. Fax number I'm entering the value. And the billing address I'm giving that value. Like some flat number 111. So now some RR apartments. Some Srinagar colony. Srinagar colony. I'm indicating the city as some Hyderabad. State some Telangana. Postal code 5000 some 31, for example, some value. Country some India. And I'm giving the customer priority as high. and the active status as yes. Active status as yes. So now here I have entered these values. These are the values which I have entered to create a new record. After entering the data, once you click on this save button, now the standard save method will be getting called. The save method will collect all these details. Based on these details, it will create a new record inside my account object. Based on these details, it will create the new account record inside my account object. And it will redirect the user to the detail page. So click on save button. Record has been created successfully. It is redirecting the user to the detail page of your record. So now it has created the record with the name Shivram. We can see the record details also. Whatever the details you have entered, the whole details you can able to see inside this. All the options are available over. Whatever the details you have entered, with those details it has created the record, and then that record information we can able to see inside this detail page. That means what? We haven't written any business logic. Without writing the business logic also, we can save the record because of how? Because of the ready-made business logic which has been given by Salesforce. Because whenever if I'm having a table, okay, on the table, definitely the people are performing insertion operation, updation operation, deletion operation, like that, they're performing some common operation. So that no need to write that code for each and every object separately. Salesforce has given those ready-made functionalities by default. Apart from this, if you want some more, then you can implement. So that when you go to the Visualforce pages also, when you go to the development also, we no need to write the complete code by our own. Most of the code is inbuilt available. Most of the code is ready-madely available. We can use that ready-made code. According to that business logic, we can implement that functionalities as well. The facility is available to you. This is how we are going to be designing the user interface, and we can able to perform the operations on that. Okay. So let me place this. Okay. Now here you can raise a question. Somebody has raised a question. So whatever the page that I have designed, I want to make this page should override the standard page. When I click on this accounts tab, okay, when I click on this accounts tab, click on new button, it is opening that account record form to create a new account record. This is the page layout. This page has been given by home Salesforce, but this page is not looking like good for me. I don't want this page, I want this page. So upon creating this account record, when I click on this new button, when I click on this new button to create a new account record, so it should not open that standard page, it has to open my own page here, which I have designed right now. Then how can we do this? How can we override the standard pages? How can we override the standard button controls, okay, which will be overriding with your Visualforce pages? Now, in this case, upon click on this new button, it is providing the standard page given by Salesforce. But I don't want this one. I want to override this page with my page over here. My page should get opened over here. Then how can we do that? Now let me show you. In this case, we can able to override that standard button controls also. We can override the standard button controls also. Instead of displaying the standard page upon click on the button control, we can display our own page, our own designed page according to the business requirement over there. That facility is available to you. Then how can we do that? Now let me show you practically. Which button you would like to override? New button. For what object? Account object. So this is the new button. So let's go to that setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on customize. Because here this is the standard object, right? So we can go to the customize. So now go to the accounts. Because here I want to customize that account records functionalities. I want to override that new button. So when you go to the accounts here, you will be having a link called as buttons, links, and actions section. Go to the buttons, links, and actions section. Let's go to that button controls over here. These are the buttons. Accounts tab is there. For this tab, it is providing a separate standard page. So now we are having the various button controls are available. We are having the various button controls are available. So now when you click on this, okay, delete the button, a separate standard page given by Salesforce. For the edit pay button, separate standard page. For the list button, a separate standard page. For the new button, separate standard page. For the view button, separate standard page. Salesforce has given so many pages for each and every button control. Every button is having its own page. But now what I want to do, I don't want to display this standard page for my new button control. I want to use my own. So simply go to that new button control and then click on this edit link. Okay, click on edit link. Click on edit. So now it is indicating that there is an option. So now for this particular button control, currently the standard page is getting visible over here. Okay, the default one is standard page. But I don't want to display this as standard page. I want to display my own here. So in this case, as of now, it is having no override, nothing, but it is not overriding. It is using the default page given by the Salesforce. But I don't want to use this one. I want to use my own Visualforce page. So select the option called as Visualforce. In this case, which page you want to display here? It is populating the page. Just now we have created a page with the name create new account page. This is the page which I would like to use to display the records. So now please display this particular page over here. Don't display the standard page. Please display my Visualforce page upon click on this new button control. Now. So now click on save button. That's it, done. So now let's go to that. When you go to the new button control, so it is going to be displaying our own page. This is the page which will be getting visible. This is the Visualforce page which we have designed, which has been overriding, which is overriding the previous old page. Now, from now onwards, whenever you are going to be creating a new accounting card, just to go to the accounts tab, click on new button, it will be preparing your own page over here. Our page will be getting loaded. We don't want to load that existing page. I want to use my own page over. Then from here, we can able to create the records and then click on save and new, cancel operations, everything we can able to do that. That facility is available. This is how we need to prepare our own Visualforce pages to create the records, and then we can able to override that standard button controls also, which has been given by Salesforce by default. Now, let me give that navigation. Overriding the standard buttons. Once the page has been designed by using the required fields, we can override standard page with our own customized page, with our own custom page to be used to perform the operations on the object records. Now, that is, we can override the standard button controls to redirect the user to our own custom Visualforce pages. Visualforce pages. How can we override this? Now let me show you. Click on the setup menu. Go to the customize, so the build menu. Click on customize. Click on required objects name and expand it. For example, accounts. Click on buttons, links, and actions section. click on the edit link for the new button. Select the checkbox, Visualforce page. Select the Visualforce page name from the pick list. To be get override, and then click on save button. From there onwards, it is going to be redirecting the user to the selected Visualforce. Instead of displaying this standard page, it will be displaying the respective Visualforce page which we have overridden. This is how we can able to design the page, and then this is how we can able to override the standard pages which has been given by Salesforce.
Excuse me, Firoz.
Let me give some examples. Now, the first one. Design a Visualforce page to create the lead records inside the object and add the respective action methods, and override the standard new button control for the lead object. Override the standard button control of the lead object. Like the similar way. Design a Visualforce page to create the position records. Position records inside the object. And override the standard new button. New button to create the new position records. These are the two examples. Okay, once you are done with this two, then you will be feeling comfortable with this designing the page and then overriding the button controls and then performing the actions also with this. And then in tomorrow's session, we'll see how to design the detailed page. As of now, we have designed only the edit page. How to design the detailed page, we'll see practically tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll see the concept of how to design the detailed page, and then how can we represent the related lists, and then we'll see how can we prepare the tab controls. How to prepare the tab controls inside your Salesforce instance over here. We'll see practically these concepts also, so that we can complete this standard controller part. We'll move forward to the custom controllers over there. So do the practice on this one today. Tomorrow we'll see the remaining functionalities of standard controller. Then we'll move forward to custom, and after that we'll see the extension controllers also.